the repetition of the divine name, it was popularized. It became before in the Upanishads you don't find so much about the power of words and mantras. There is a totally different line of approach. It was from the 9th century, this importance of mantra repetition of japa became more and more known. It was in the 12th century, in whole North India, the mantra repetition of the nama was popularized by the great saint Ramananda. Ramananda was one of the greatest saints of the medieval India. It is from him only other this idea of the nama spread. Kabir, Nanak, Dadu, and various so many others, they all spoke about the glory of nama, but Ramananda was the originator of that. Ramananda was a child prodigy from his boyhood when he had a dream. When he was at night, he had a dream. The Vishnu appeared and gave him a conch, shankha, a conch he gave him. He woke up and saw actually a shankha there on the table. It's a miracle, but anyway, that is what the story says. And that shankha remained with him till the end of his life. Later he became a monk of the Ramanuja sect first was in Allahabad. And then he went on a pilgrimage to the south. When he returned, in the mutt where he was attached to that, they thought while during his tour in the south, he must have taken food from all kinds of people. So he was excommunicated, banished from the Sri Vaishnava community. It was a great shock to him. He till then was leading a very orthodox Vaishnava life. But this excommunication gave him a tremendous shock. So that liberalized his mind. From then onwards, he became totally free from the restrictions of caste, creed and all that. And then he went to Kashi, and on the bank of the Ganga, he got a cave dug on the river bank, and he remained there, remaining several years. He must have lived many years. He lived there. Every day, 3 times in a day, he would come out and blow the conch. And people all around will be waiting just to hear this. Not only Hindus, Muslims also. Fortunately, we have got authentic record of Ramananda's life by Muslim scholars. Because Hindus, they don't bother about dates or lives. They don't care to record lives. Whereas Muslims, scholars, they have got a historical sense more. So Ramananda's life has been fully recorded by Muslims, and they have showed great respect. In the Muslim one author has written, Ramananda is the greatest saint now alive in the north. And then he speaks about his blowing the conch 3 times in a day. All people will be waiting. He only, the story goes, it is from him that Kabir got the Mantra Diksha. At first, the story goes, Ramananda, he did not at first agree to initiate him. So Kabir went and on the steps of Ganga, night, early morning, the Ramananda used to go for bath. It was still the small hours of the morning. It was dark. So Ramananda went down by step, and Kabir was lying down on the step. he put his step on the his feet on the body of Kabir, and seeing a human body, immediately Ramananda said, Ram, 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 he repeated. And Kabir got up and said, Maharaj, I have got my initiation, Diksha is over. From then onwards, he accepted Ramananda as his guru and repeated Ram Nam. These are all stories connected with Ramananda. His one quotation is preserved in the Granth Sahib of the in the Golden Temple. One sloka well known, Jati Panthi kabhi nahi pucho, what is it? That is, the idea is, don't ask a person's caste or the sect. Whoever loves, whoever belongs to God, whoever dedicates his life to God, he is the saint. That is something like sloka is there. So that is from Ramananda, the Naam began to spread in North India. Kabir, Nanak, later on Dadu and so many others, it began to spread. Raidas. And from here, the Muslims took over. So in the 12th century, 13th century, this repetition of the Naam, Japa, began to spread in the Middle East. So the Muslim Sufi saints also started using the rosary. And and from the Muslims, the Christian monks, the Greek in the Jerusalem area, Middle East, the Christian monks were living, Christian ascetics were living there. They took over the repetition of the name from the Muslims. They also created a Greek mantra. This Greek mantra is now repeated by millions of Greek, Eastern members of the Eastern churches, and also in whole of Russia. Russia also, this repetition of the name, they have got their own Greek mantra, that is regarded as the main sadhana in the whole of Eastern Church. Thus, it did not go much to spread to the Western part of the Christendom. But Eastern Christendom, the main discipline is to go on repeating this mantra. They use a kind of woolen rosary made of wool. It is made only by the monks. When the beads are made up of wool, that wool only monks only make. While they make the beads, they go on repeating this mantra, and that is how the beads are made. And they use wool, so that one reason is it won't make any noise. It is silent. It is worth seeing the rosary, woolen rosary they use. Anyway, this is how the name has spread.